What's going on, guys? Welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. I want to thank you for joining us today on the show. As always, right here on Red Carpet, we bring you the latest in entertainment news, in sports, in film and television from around the world. Now, as you can see, we're still working from home due to the coronavirus pandemic. It has affected every aspect of our lives and your lives. And that's why we're recording right here at the beautiful wharf in Washington, D.C. And with that said, let's get on with the show. And let's kick off the show with some big plans from singer Akon. Major plans. He plans to move ahead on creating a futuristic Pan-African city with construction set to begin next year on the $6 billion project.
Akon, who first announced his idea for the Akon City back in 2018, described it as a real-life Wakanda, comparing it to the advanced fictional African nation portrayed in Black Panther. On a trip with government officials to the grassy fields 100 kilometers outside the capital, Akon said he hopes his project will serve as a home back home for Black Americans and for others facing racial injustices.
So I wanted to build a city or a project like this that will give them the motivation to know that there is a home back home. And it's something that they can relate to, that they're familiar with. And it's something that they don't have to fear. And they also have a choice. Because the system back home treats them unfairly in so many different ways that you can never imagine. And they only go through it because they feel that there's no other way.
A hotel within the city plans to feature rooms decorated for each of the 54 nations of Africa. Senegalese Minister of Tourism and Air Transport, Alioni Sarr, applauded Akon for moving forward with this project.
Dans un moment, dans un contexte où l'investissement...
At a time in a context where national and international private investment is rare, Akon, you have chosen to come to Senegal and invest $6 billion in the coming years when COVID-19 has sown doubt across the globe.
La COVID-19 a semé le doute partout sur la planète. Bravo.
At the same time, the project has received mixed reviews, with critics wondering if there will be Africans involved. The project was designed by a Dubai-based architect because Akon said he couldn't find a suitable one in Africa fast enough. Born in the United States to Senegalese parents, Akon spent much of his childhood in Senegal, where only 44% of households in the countryside had electricity even in 2018.
As you coming from America or Europe or anywhere in the diaspora, and you feel that you want to visit Africa, we want Senegal to be your first stop.
Queen Bee Fashion by giving back. Through her philanthropic organization Be Good, Beyoncé partnered with the NAACP in July and gave $100,000 to 20 Black-owned small businesses who have recently struggled, and now they're giving again. Be Good posted on Instagram, quote, proud to announce $1 million in additional funds from Beyoncé to help Black-owned small businesses. Round 2 of funding opens this month with our partner, NAACP. Our organization has also helped vulnerable communities receive supplies during the COVID-19 crisis. And from being homeless at one point to now being a billionaire, the story of Tyler Perry takes inspiration to another level. The actor, producer, and director has now been added to the Forbes list of richest entertainers in the world after being raised in poverty in New Orleans and dropping out of high school. Now, some fun facts, according to Forbes, Perry has earned more than $1.4 billion in pre-tax income since 2005. The magazine also states that the 51-year-old owns the entirety of his creative work, including more than 1,200 episodes of television shows, 22 feature films, and at least 24 stage plays. And we can't forget the 330-acre studio he opened in Atlanta last year. Well done to you, Tyler Perry, whose hard working ultimately led him to where he is right now. Big up to you, my friend. Now, two films explore the cycle of violence, trauma, and incarceration in the black community of post-Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans. VOA's Penelope Polu spoke with the filmmakers and community organizers of the documentary Fredia Got a Gun and of the drama feature RZA, Cutthroat City. The chronic causes of systemic violence in the Big Easy, which was devastated 15 years ago by a Category 5 hurricane.
The death of Big Frida's brother, Adam Ross, marks the second fatal shooting in Central City this month.
The shooting that took Ross's life on January 2018 spurred Big Frida, a popular hip-hop musician in New Orleans, to address the vicious circle of violence, trauma, and incarceration in her community.
Yesterday, I lost a close friend of mine, and the day before that, I lost someone else that I know. So just every day on some kind of level, we're losing people, and it's just so sad and it's so heartbreaking.
She attributes this crisis to gun violence that leaves fatherless and motherless children to fend for themselves, a cycle of violence that continues as youngsters seek revenge for the killings of the parents and friends. At a middle school forum on gun violence, students are jaded by the violence and death around them.
Go outside, they just be pop shooting for nothing. Like, a bullet could hit anybody. A bullet don't got no name. I would hold my daddy when he was dying slowly, when he was wounded by a gun bullet.
Trauma and criminal behavior often lead to incarceration.
I got 2 charges, carjacking and possession of a weapon.
According to the CDC, Louisiana has the 5th highest number of gun-related deaths in the U.S. It also has one of the highest rates of incarceration in the nation, with 1 out of 100 Louisianians imprisoned. Of those, there are 4 black prisoners for every white one.
We don't want to see y'all in here. How many people y'all think be affected by the things that y'all do? Your whole family.
It's the slave mentality. That's the problem. That's the heart of the problem. We are inclined to do the things that we do because we don't feel like there's anything else we can do.
According to the documentary, Hurricane Katrina, which struck New Orleans 15 years ago, exacerbated crime and violence in the city by destroying the local economy and displacing some 400,000 residents.
It changed the dynamics of the city. It changed the neighborhoods. Whole neighborhoods were washed out. And as people came trickling in, they had lost their homes, they'd lost everything.
Post-Katrina destruction, displacement, and crime in New Orleans is also the theme of the feature film drama RZA's Cutthroat City. The film starts on a positive note with Blink, one of the main characters, a graphic novel artist, dreaming for a better life. But then Katrina strikes the lower 9th Ward, a low-income district, and upends the life of Blink and his community. Unable to get a job or get help from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, he turns to crime. One heist leads to another, making it harder and harder for Blink to get out of a hopeless situation. Hopelessness during post-Katrina New Orleans is RZA's theme. The film also describes how corruption has been plaguing the city for generations. RZA's Cutthroat City appears to be a place where dreams of poverty-stricken African Americans come to die. Still, the filmmaker says his film ends with the redemptive note that people have the power to turn their lives around.
The lotus flower grows out of mud. Okay, the community could be mud, but a flower could grow out of it. I think everyone deserves a second chance, or at least should have the option.
Katrina's always been with us. Just had a bunch of different names.
Penelope Pulu, VOA News, Washington.
British-Nigerian actor John Boyega says that he has seen racism firsthand in Hollywood and he's not going to let it derail his career. He spoke to GQ magazine in his first interview since finishing Star Wars. The latest issue of the magazine features the 28-year-old as its cover star.
Even now, we have individual actors now speaking up about certain people's names, individuals. We've had high-profile people who've been in big franchise films who are now speaking about directors or whoever who have sometimes use their power to silence and you know, end careers of individuals. So I was just like, you lot ain't about to take me out like that. I'm gonna tell everyone.
John Boyega also spoke about the Black Lives Matter rallies in Hyde Park, in the center of the city, where he gave a powerful speech that energized and inspired the crowds and was shared widely on social media, confirming Boyega's role as an important campaigner for racial injustice.
And fair dues. I think some people need that planning. You know, need a speech in front of them, need, you know, something to articulate those words. But you know, for me, the emotion came out of. I mean, the videos don't do it any justice because you guys are watching a video of me, but I'm there. You know, so my POV is completely different to you, and I just catch the eyes of individual black people, especially black men, and we're talking about certain specific things. I catch the eye, and I saw vulnerability in a lot of black men's eyes that made me cry because you don't get to see that. It's just man them, just like in that moment, it's just like it chokes you up because you're like, rah, like we're all feeling the same thing, we're all going through the same experience, and we're processing it in this strange way.
Boyega will star in Steve McQueen's upcoming miniseries, Small Acts, as an officer in the Metropolitan Police in London, in the depths of institutional racism.
Now, at a time when the coronavirus is wreaking havoc on business around the world, the film industry in Nigeria's mainly Muslim north is thriving.
The region's movie machine, dubbed Kannywood after its largest city, Kano, has become the main source of entertainment for West Africa's 80 million Hausa speakers. We hear from Jamil Abdulsalam, CEO of Northflix, Kannywood's new online stream platform.
The idea behind floating Northflix is to solve a problem, which I mentioned, 3 main problems: accessibility, piracy, and quality of the content produced, and of course, to make money. We have a lot of people, being a high net worth individual, middle class people, and even low income earners. Those that are a fan of the Hausa film industry, they are subscribing to our platform and they are having access to watch any content they want to watch.
Northflix has seen its client base soar since authorities imposed lockdown to contain the coronavirus pandemic back in March, and Kannywood movie producers like Uze Usman are taking their work to the next level because of it.
It now makes us as movie makers from the northern part of Nigeria to up our game, because it makes us to understand that our major clients, our major audience from the northern part of Nigeria are moving to stream.
Now, as for Netflix, it has itself a new partner in the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, 6 months after detangling their work lives from the British royal family, Prince Harry and Meghan have signed a multi-year deal to produce nature series, documentaries, and children's programming for the streamer. And we close our show with the couple's upcoming plans.
Prince Harry and wife Meghan, who recently relocated to Santa Barbara, California, plan to focus on stories and issues that elevate diverse voices and other issues close to their hearts. Our lives, both independent of each other and as a couple, have allowed us to understand the power of the human spirit, of courage, resilience, and the need for connection, the pair said in this joint statement. Through our work with diverse communities and their environments to shining a light on people and causes around the world, our focus will be on creating content that informs but also gives hope. The Prince worked closely with the filmmakers of a new Netflix documentary about the Paralympic Games, Rising Phoenix, in which he also appears.
Paralympics is something almost magical.
Being a part of something bigger than just yourself was incredible.
Yes, lives are being changed on the track, but lives are also being changed in the stands.
La vie est un combat. On essaie de sauver maintenant le monde.
And with that, we come to the end of our show today. My name is Jackson Funganyi. I want to thank you for hanging out with me and with us on the show. Remember, if you have any questions, entertainment questions, to check us out at voanews.com. We are also on social media. Check us out on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye, everyone.